PJNet.TV Part 2. It's 9:30 on the East Coast. We have Dell Didway standing by. Our chat room is waiting for him. We have a bumper rolling. We're recording and streaming. So let's switch to Studio 8 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to PJNet.TV. Good to see all of you in the PJNet.TV chat room. And you might be wondering, what are you talking about? Because you could be watching this on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. And if you are, we are certainly glad you're doing that. And we invite you to come join the fellowship with the people in our chat room at PJNet.TV. If you have a desktop or a laptop, if you have a mobile phone, you're probably watching it at the best place. But anyway, it is 9:30 on Tuesday, and that is the time that is set aside that we look forward to being joined by Dell Didway. And he is from the great state of Ohio, and I'll be glad to, for those of you who have never seen Dell, here's Dell with almost no hair. In some of the pictures you saw earlier, he had some hair, but that was a while back. But that was one of the first casualties of COVID-19 is haircuts.
I like it. I like what I did. I think I did a decent job on it, and I think I'm gonna continue doing this. So that'll save me about $400 a year.
Well, Dell, if you were spending $400 a year on haircuts, I think you probably should save some money. You were paying too much because some of us are just ugly, you know. I mean, you can cut your hair.
I get a cut every 2 weeks at $20 a shot. 24 times a year. That's going to add up.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I bought a $20 clippers, and I think I did a decent job with it. So,
and it's low maintenance too. Plus, the summer's coming up. What do you need hair for? Just
I keep it. I like it like this. I like it short.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I was visiting your blog today. Now, you, before I get to that, you took a little bit different tack on your promos, which go viral, but you took a little bit of a tack. You felt the need to challenge people, and what brought that on?
I just want to mix it up a little bit. People probably get tired of hearing me say the same thing, so I wanted to mix it up a little bit and get a little bit of interest, and I think it worked a little bit. So, next time, who knows? I might do it from somewhere else. But I think if you break it up a little bit and you have a variety, then I think people might be more tuned to listen in or click on it. If it's the same thing every time, it looks the same, then they won't. So I think spice it up a little bit. Maybe I'll videotape my next haircut. I think that might be a good idea.
Or do it somewhere else. We've got a pretty good picture of your backyard now.
I like that.
Stand in the fire pit and sit in the ashes and say,
yeah.
I'm begging you to please. But your blog today was about, apparently you know this gentleman.
Mark. Mark Virgie Hunter, and if my friend Cheryl's on, I want to thank her for catching my goof up. So we have a running joke about COVID-19 because we had a fiasco a few weeks ago with the story I wrote for her, and we couldn't seem to get that corrected for somehow. I don't know why. So I think it's a kind of an omen, or that it's kind of following me a little bit. So appreciate her reaching out to me recently and saying, "Hey, you got a big mistake in your story." So I think she's going to fire me or dock my pay or something. But we were able to get it fixed. But that's with the Ohio State House News, which is a great website, by the way. But no, Mark and Virgie, we've known them for quite a while. They live probably 20 minutes from us, and they have a tragic story which they've turned into a positive. And their tragedy is their son was 21, and his name's Stephen Hunter, and he was down at Milligan College down in Tennessee, and they got the call that their son had died. And he was a healthy young man, a good athlete, good tennis player, good student, good everything, and he had an undetected heart issue. So he passed suddenly. So they obviously mourned and felt the need and the calling to do something to keep his memory alive, and so they established the Stephen Hunter Hope Foundation, which has several entities, but one of them under this umbrella is what they call the Power Pack program. And in our little area of Southern Ohio and Pike County, Ohio, and Adams County, Ohio, um, high unemployment. Um, the area struggles at times. So a lot of needy children, a lot of needy students, which most of the kids who go to school have governments, have state funded lunches.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and this is kind of not a sad part of it, but a lot of the kids go home for the weekend and they don't have anything to eat.
All right. People
So,
don't think about that.
so Stephen, so Mark and Virgie Hunter did think of that, and they got a lot of donations and a lot of moving parts, and come up with the power packs where the kids have to qualify for it. It's not just for everybody. They have to demonstrate the need, and they send home with them these power packs, and then the power packs is food for them for the weekend. So, and then they're going to get into possibly some clothing later on, but they've been doing this for quite a while, and it's got a great reputation. A lot of people support it. So right now, with school being out, that's the challenge, to get these kids their power packs. So, and they've overcome some obstacles, and some of the obstacles was the distributor out of Cincinnati, Ohio. They had to shut their business down. So So they, and this is a big operation. You're talking 1,300, almost 1,400 power packs that they send home, and we have 20 schools in the area they service. So it's a big operation. It's not just sending 5 or 6 backpacks home. It's 1,300 more power packs. So that's what they're doing, and that's what their struggle is with this coronavirus, with the schools being shut down. They wanted to ensure that those students still got their power packs.
Dale, I've heard stories ranging. Well, and I don't know how true they are, but if school is not in, those who were getting free lunches, school lunches. Well, if school's not in, they're not getting that during the week either. Is he trying to, or is that being? How are they coping with that in the area?
No, the students are getting their daily lunches, because they still have to do work, and so they're still in school even though they're being homeschooled. Papers are still sent to the students, and their lunches and their meals are still being provided by the state. So that and each school has had to come up with unique ways of getting it there, because we live in a rural area where you're talking miles and miles and miles out. So they've come up with ways, transportation, to get these meals to these students along with their schoolwork. And not everybody in this area has internet, so they have to have physical papers taken out to them. And when they take out their paperwork, they also take out their lunches, and then now they're taking out the power packs too. So,
well, if school is out, the buses don't need to pick the students up, so maybe they could use the bus routes and go ahead and run the buses, keep the bus drivers employed.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure how they're doing it, but Mark said that they are being done that way, and the students are being fed, and they are getting their power packs. So, because they typically take those home every Friday, they're sent home with them. So they're making they've made accommodations for those power packs to still be distributed to those students who do qualify for them. So. Big relief, but Mark is a little concerned about the fundraising. It is a big operation to feed more than 1,300 students every week out of donations. So, and to pay for the cost of the food, and pay for the distribution of the food and packing the food, it's not a cheap operation. So,
well, there's several elements, and the obvious one, the first layer, is readily apparent. The logistics that you just talked about, but that food, as you alluded to, doesn't just arrive at a central place, nor does it just automatically get placed in a backpack. That involves humans. Now, if we are not able to congregate, okay, the work doesn't go away, folks.
Right. Well, he relied on his church, and they, I think, I'm not sure how they did it exactly, but I think they each yeah, they had little teams, and each team took X amount of power packs to do, and so
Mhm.
they did it themselves for a couple of weeks, and then that company was able to have their volunteers come back and work. So it was about a 2 week process or 2 week time period where they were worried about getting the food brought to them because Cincinnati's 2 hours away.
Mhm.
So I think there was a picture on my blog about of one of the semi trucks full of food, and that comes in every week. So it's a big operation what they're
Yeah.
doing.
And like I say, that truck doesn't unload itself. And if you think the driver's going to do it, you can think again. he
Yeah,
will, he will park that truck and cross his arms and sit on
yeah.
his lawn chair.
So,
And he
so I
don't want
think
to
he's
wait
part of
for
the
people
group.
to show up either.
Yeah.
He's on a schedule.
All right.
Um,
So
I think that when I read that, one of the more latent effects that may be the largest is that when you have an organization, a nonprofit, you are reliant on annual banquets and events
mhm.
like that to raise money. And if you can't have those, your money supply is going to be crippled. And if your money supply is crippled, everything else collapses. Did he have any events that he is either canceled, postponed, or is foreseeing that? Because he's going to have a
Yeah.
financial problem that may not show up for 6 months.
Oh, we discussed that. Yeah, he's had to cancel every his all his major events, which are all outside and they all involve a lot of people. He has a flag football game which draws in a lot of money. He has a lot of other outdoor um, fundraisers, and those have all been canceled because they're supposed to be taking place now, and they're not.
Mm.
So yeah, he's applying for grants. He said he thinks he can offset some of the fundraising, but he says they've been able to uh, put aside some resources, and they're using those resources now. But he won't be able to go long without doing one of his major fundraisers. And one of our other organizations here in our area stepped up to the plate and donated a $10,000 check to them,
Mm.
which is good. Obviously, $10,000. I didn't get into the specifics of how much it costs for him to operate this annually,
Hmm.
and I don't want to know. But I know it's. If I was to guess, I would say he's well into $150,000
Hmm.
operation. That's all charity. So my wife and I we've given to him a lot, and Mark and Virgie are just good people. So you want to help them out.
I'm a parent, and I've in fact I'm reading a book right now of a guest that we'll be having next month that is having hardships
Mhm.
medically with their children,
Mm.
and it must be hard. And I know one of our guests tomorrow night, Michelle, has
Mhm.
got a
Yeah,
premature grandbaby that's born, and
yeah,
your heart goes out to them. But folks, I cannot think of anything worse than having to bury your child.
yeah. And I hope I never do. So yeah, and to be, I mean, any time is going to be bad, but there's no worse time or no better time. But I think to be away, to be such young in college, have your whole life, you're going to make yourself to get an education, to do something really productive, and then to get the call that he's dead.
Out of
Uh,
the clear blue, a healthy
yeah,
young man. Yeah.
healthy young man. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and you'd expect that to be a call. Maybe there was a car accident, a
right,
crash or something,
yeah,
but a health problem that was hidden for years.
hmm,
And then you in the grieving process, one of the things you do, if only I would have.
right. Yeah, and Mark, when he first told me the story, we're sitting down at McDonald's, and what started out to be a 15-minute conversation ended up being 3 hours. And he was telling me all about everything. So, kind of opened up to me. But Mark's a well-respected man, local businessman in the area, and Virgie's the same. So, they're all well thought of, well respected. So when they did this foundation, then everybody jumped on board, and why not? Why not help it? There's so many things out there, so many organizations that are good causes that you can't give to everybody. But I think once people see what they do and the magnitude of it and what the operation that they're doing, then you kind of feel good when you donate to it because you see it, you see the results of it. And, like I said, there's a lot of them out there, but we get calls every day, and you have to pick and choose. And we pick our 4 or 5 charities every year, and we stick to that. Because if you give it to everybody the cause, then you're gonna want to you're gonna have to be asking for money. So
yeah. It's like if I took every extended warranty on my car that I got a call for, I would be
yeah.
I wouldn't be able to afford the car. I wouldn't.
So yeah, the blog was a little different than usual, but it just kind of was a good time, a good timing, because I know they're facing some challenges, and I wanted to put it out there so maybe people can see it, and maybe if they want to donate they can. If not, it's not. I understand it, but we just put it out there, and I'll fix that link to it if people have any issues. I think there's 2 links in there, but we'll definitely make sure they both work, because if people want it, they feel like they need to or could give a little bit. That's awesome, because right now they're going to be struggling with canceling all their fundraisers, and having to some extra expenses that they did not foresee. So.
Well, he's very fortunate to know you, Dale, because your writing this blog is going to reach people that he would never have been able to reach, and the reach of your blog goes far beyond his service area. So I'm hoping that people will respond and be aware. Not only even if they don't respond, I think we need to be aware that there are some good things going on out there, people. Everybody's not crazy.
No, not everybody is crazy. Just the people who get the media attention right now on CNN and MSNBC, they're the crazy ones. So,
isn't it a shame that you give attention to this, and your blog certainly has a lot of reach, but there's local television stations, there's local radio stations, there's local newspapers. How come we don't see? And one of the reasons that I appreciate our relationship is so often, Dale, you are out there finding news that is good, news that is wholesome, news that is encouraging and inspiring. But that is not the menu. When I get on social media, at some point I have to shut it off and say, the world can't be that crazy.
Especially Twitter. Twitter can be pretty vile and challenging, and I have fun with it. But people are, because it's you can be a coward. You can post something and not have to have your face shown, and you don't have to do it. You can do a little drive-by hit and run. And I mean, I do it too, so I shouldn't laugh about it. I've been posting lately on every time I see a post from either Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton or AOC, I've been putting the hashtag I believe Tara Reid, and that's been going out crazy. I've been hashtagging it everywhere. I always comment on theirs. And Alyssa Milano, what a there's never been a bigger hypocrite in my life than Alyssa Milano. And I met her once, and to be so disgustingly vile towards Brett Kavanaugh because of what he was falsely accused of, and then when Joe Biden's accused, you just hear crickets. You hear crickets. So we're getting to the typical left socialist media double standard hypocrites. So
but I've always wondered how they manage to claim the moral high ground, especially with Me Too. These are the people that want abortion on demand so that they can basically fornicate at will. Okay, without consequences. But boy, they claim the moral high ground. Don't look at me funny. Don't make a off-color joke because I'm not safe.
Yeah. Well, I don't think any Democrat has any moral high ground. So to say that is kind of an oxymoron.
It is,
because Democrats have no morals. So,
right.
But for them to do that, yeah, it's and for Hillary came out today and endorsed endorsed Joe Biden. And I'm writing an opinion piece now. Actually, I'm going to finish it when we get off here. I think that, and I'm going to send it to the Ohio State House News if she'll take it. That I think there's two reasons that you're seeing all this big push to for the Democrats now are pushing this mail-in voting, and they're pushing that because for two reasons. One, they want to cheat, and because they cannot get the president out on the other 75 tactics that they've tried in the past. They've all failed. So let's try the old adage: let's cheat. Let's get them to mail it in. Let's go get it. Let's go cultivate these votes, and then let's see who wins. And then that's the one reason. The other reason that they're also talking about possibly pushing back the election is because they see their candidate, Mr. Biden, as a colossal train wreck. And if they can push it back a little bit, they can get a different candidate in there. And that's what they want. They don't want Biden. They do not want that man to be the nominee, because if you've seen any of his little town hall press, his little things like we're doing right now, you don't want to laugh at it because it's not hilarious, but it's sad because he can't formulate words. He said, what did he say today or yesterday? He called it economic intercourse or something like that. I'm like, so really, I've never heard of that before. Never heard of economic intercourse. So he's I think he used to be a distinguished gentleman, but I think he needs some help. I think he needs some help.
That's what I was going to say, Dale. I clearly disagree with his politics, but you know what? Mm-hmm. He's an elected representative by the people, and he has served. Okay, and that you can show respect, but I think that he hung on there too long, and it's time to. I think he's got some issues.
I'm
afraid he does, and again, I say that not with joy, not gleefully, but I think that he needs to find his pasture and peacefully retire. And and folks, we need to be thinking about this. Okay, we can sit here and point out the speck in the eyes of those who we oppose, but I ask yourself, if I look in this chat room right now, what is the average age? What effort are we making to reach out to the generation behind us? So we need to learn from this. We need to take that to heart, because it's we are about 2 generations away from tyranny.
Oh yeah, and it's a legitimate threat when you have some bartenders now who are congressmen, and I will say it, we have 2 terrorists who are congressmen in our government, and it's not going to be tyranny, man. It's going to be socialism. It's going to be destruction. It's going to be persecution. It's going to be horrible. So I hear this every 4 years. It's the greatest election of our lifetime. This is because if they get more power in there, if they get more terrorists in our government, what we've built up all these years is going to be destroyed. Freedom's not going to be freedom anymore. We're getting a taste of what socialism is going to be like these last 3 weeks. People waiting in lines to get toilet paper. That's going to be the norm.
Yeah.
And being told, you can't go here and you can't go there.
Right.
Because that's what socialism is. And I just still cannot comprehend the intelligence or lack of intelligence that anybody would have to actually vote for a person like AOC or Rashid Tlaib. I don't understand how anybody could vote for people who are that vile.
It's mind-blowing.
It is beyond it.
Dale, we're kind of out of time. Let me extend a moment. You are just weeks or days, not too far down the road. You and Kyle have a joint venture together, and there's a book coming out. So do you mind spending a minute or so as we wrap up to share about that?
Yeah, and I had to go through great repentance for this book because I'm a Buckeye, but no, I'm kidding. On this, this is was a fun book to write. It's about Michigan football. It's called Michigan Motivations, and of course Kyle played for Michigan. So we did the Buckeye book and some other books. So we kind of had to deal with him. We had to do this book about Michigan football. So it comes out July 7, and we don't know. We're trying to plan a release party, but we don't know if we'll be able to or not.
Yeah.
So, but it'll be on July 10. You can pre-order it now. Michigan Motivations. It's 52 chapters, 52 one chapter each week. It's not a devotional like some of my other books. It's more of a inspirational, motivational. It's a devotional without scripture, basically. So we use a lot of inspirational quotes, motivational quotes in it instead, because that's what this publisher wanted. They wanted more of a general market book.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and Michelle and I are writing the book about Indiana basketball, which will be out next year, and it's the same format about Indiana basketball. We haven't settled on a title yet, but so that'll be out in 2021. So yeah.
Well, if you're going to write a sports book about Indiana, I think you could pretty well take football off the table and focus on basketball. And but
I'll bring that up tomorrow night to Michelle, see how fired up she gets.
I wonder if she'll be here. She's
I know.
I don't know, and if she's not,
we communicated today, so I don't know.
Yeah. So, but folks, it'll be great. Well, Del, thanks for sharing with us. We look forward. Hey, thanks for visiting the chat room and interacting with folks there.
Yeah, thanks for everybody joining. And if anybody wants to donate to that great cause, I will fix that link here momentarily. So, and I already corrected the second word in there. So, thanks, Shay.
There you go. All right, folks, appreciate it, Del. We'll see you about this time next week.
Will do.
All right, there he was, Del Didway, right here on pjnet.tv, where he is every Tuesday night. Folks, there is a lot going on, and we went a little long, so I won't share that with you now, but I will be up all night. And if you want to hear some exciting news about things that are just around the corner that you will be seeing in the weeks ahead, I would welcome your call, and I would stop work just to share the great news with you, because we are seeing good times ahead. Okay? There is good news out there, folks. You may have to look for it, but it is out there. When you find it, let's talk about it, okay? Folks, got to sign it off now. My special thanks to those of you in the pjnet.tv chat room. At the moment, I see Becky is there, Ben is there, Canton Tweet, Dell is with us, Diane is with us, Doug and Steve and JD and Monty, Rachel, Renee, Sunbelt Girl, Tammy, and Terry. And you know what? There's probably been some others that have come and gone, and some people don't log into the chat. And you know what? If you don't, that is fine. You are welcome to enjoy the chat, whether you log in or not. Another thank you to our live guest watching this on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We appreciate you spending your time with us. I hope that it has benefited you. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as we have enjoyed being a part of this. What we do here, folks, is we provide a safe place where everyday Christians can simply share their walk with Christ, because everybody has a story to tell. I have two questions in parting. And my first question is this. What is the boldest thing you have ever done for Jesus Christ? And my second question is, well, when was that exactly? You see, as I reflect on those questions, I challenge myself, and I hope that you will do the same, to never be satisfied with either answer.